So tonight, you're gonna hear the number 2 a lot. See, the number 2 is important because it represents second chances, something that we all have benefited from at some point. But the number 2 is critical because it reflects the percentage of teachers that we have in our public school system that look like me. And although 2 is my favorite number, in some ways, it's just not good enough. Good evening, my name is Jason Terrell. I'm the co-CEO and co-founder of Profound Gentlemen. We are a national nonprofit based right here in Charlotte, and our mission is to ensure that all students, but especially our boys of color, have the opportunity to go to school and have educators that look like them in the classroom. So I came to Charlotte as a teacher, and when I entered my class for the first time, I realized 2 things. The first is that my students crave mentorship, especially my boys. So I want to tell you about a kid named Austin. Austin was an 8th grader that I taught. He stood about 6'2", but despite his athletic frame, he did not have the grades to play on the middle school basketball team. He was devastated. His behavior suffered as a result. We decided to give Austin a second chance by placing him on a behavior contract, and his incentive for having good grades and good behavior for the week was that he got to play one-on-one basketball with me. Now, I played baseball, not basketball, so Austin beat me every single week, and he bragged about it to the entire school. The second thing I noticed was that Austin was one of 500 boys in my school who needed additional reinforcement from men that looked like them, but didn't have those opportunities because there was a lack of men in my school building. And this actually mirrors what we see in our local data. Currently in CMS, 71% of our kids are kids of color. Of the 10,000 teachers that we have in our district, less than 5% are men of color. Profound Gentlemen is here to ensure that boys like Austin have those opportunities to have educators like me by doing 2 things. First is that we place educators in the profession. In just 2 years, we've been able to make 75 career connections, helping schools and school districts across the country employ highly impactful male educators of color. The second thing that we do is we keep educators in the classroom. Whether it's our community building or our one-on-one support, we retain 95% of the educators that work with us. So winning Seed 20 will allow us to do 2 things. It's gonna first allow us to grow our program by placing and supporting an additional 25 male educators of color right here in Charlotte. And these teachers will go on to impact over 2,500 boys. It's also going to allow us to deepen our programs by offering up to 625 hours of additional development for our educators to make sure that they are highly impactful. So tonight, Seed 20, I invite you to join me to make schools in CMS and schools across the country places where boys like Austin, who is now about a 6'6" senior, but he was recently awarded a full-ride basketball scholarship to the University of South Carolina Upstate. I want to make them places where he can go to school, receive those second chances, and have educators that reflect his background. Thank you.